In the heart of Silicon Valley stood the sprawling estate of Elias Hawthorne, a tech millionaire whose fortune was built on revolutionary AI software that powered half the world's smartphones. His mansion wasn't just a home. It was a fortress of glass and steel, with 52 rooms overlooking manicured gardens that stretched like a green ocean under the California sun. Crystal chandeliers hung from ceilings painted with murals of ancient myths, and every surface gleamed with the kind of polish that only endless money could buy. But amid this luxury, one room echoed with silence and sorrow. The nursery-turned-bedroom of his only son, Theo. Born 6 years ago under a storm of complications, Theo had entered the world without a cry, his tiny legs limp and unresponsive. Doctors whispered words like congenital paralysis and nerve damage, but Elias refused to accept it. He poured millions into specialists from Boston to Berlin, flying them in on private jets, their white coats crisp as they prodded and scanned. Yet nothing changed. Theo's legs remained still, like forgotten branches on a winter tree. Theo was a bright-eyed boy with curly auburn hair that caught the light from his floor-to-ceiling windows. He spent his days in a custom wheelchair, one engineered with the latest tech, voice-activated, cushioned in memory foam, even equipped with holographic games to distract him from the world he couldn't explore on foot. Servants glided in and out like shadows, bringing meals on silver trays or adjusting his pillows with gentle hands. But their pity hung in the air, thick as fog. Poor Master Theo, they'd murmur when they thought he couldn't hear. His father visited in the evenings, after board meetings and investor calls, his suit rumpled and eyes heavy. "We'll fix this, son," Elias would say, ruffling Theo's hair. "Daddy's working on it." But the promises felt hollow, echoing in the vast hallways where laughter rarely ventured. Theo's mother had passed during childbirth, leaving a void that no amount of wealth could fill. The boy dreamed of running through those gardens, chasing butterflies or kicking a ball, but mornings brought only the hum of his wheelchair and the distant roar of Elias's helicopter lifting off for another day of empire building. The estate buzzed with activity, yet Theo's world was small. Tutors came via video link, teaching him math and history from screens that floated above his bed. Physical therapists stretched his lifeless limbs each afternoon, their machines whirring like distant thunder, promising strength that never came. "Feel anything today?" they'd ask, and Theo would shake his head, staring at his toes as if willing them to twitch. At night, alone under silk sheets, he'd press his hands against his thighs, searching for sensation. But there was only numbness, a cruel silence where life should pulse. Sometimes, faint tingles ghosted through, like whispers from a dream, but they vanished before he could grasp them. Elias had built an indoor playground just for him, with ramps and adaptive swings, but it felt like a gilded cage. Friends? The children of other moguls were paraded in occasionally, but their awkward stares made Theo shrink inside. "Why can't you walk?" one had asked bluntly, and Theo had no answer beyond the doctor's vague diagnoses. Elias Hawthorne wasn't just rich. He was a visionary, his company Nextech pioneering neural interfaces that promised to revolutionize medicine. He'd funded research labs, donated to hospitals, all in hopes of a breakthrough for Theo. "Science will save you," he'd tell his son, showing holographic models of nerve regeneration. But the failures mounted. Experimental drugs that made Theo sick, surgeries that left faint scars but no movement. Whispers in boardrooms suggested Elias's obsession was distracting him, but he pushed on, his love fierce and unyielding. Deep down, guilt gnawed at him. Had his high-stress life contributed to the birth complications? He buried it under work, acquiring more companies, building more walls around his heart and home. Theo watched the world from his window, birds soaring free while he remained grounded. Envy wasn't in his nature. Instead, a quiet resolve grew. One day, he'd whisper to himself, "I'll walk out there." Little did he know. Change was coming not from labs or fortunes, but from an unexpected visitor who saw beyond the paralysis to the boy trapped within. The mansion's gates, guarded by cameras and security, seemed impenetrable. Yet fate has a way of slipping through cracks. And on a sunny afternoon, as Theo gazed at the horizon, a soccer ball arced over the fence, heralding the arrival of someone who would unravel everything. Across the fence from the Hawthorne estate lay a modest neighborhood of cracked sidewalks and chain-link yards, where kids played soccer on patchy grass and families scraped by on dreams and determination. That's where Zara lived, an 8-year-old black girl with tight braids adorned with colorful beads, skin like polished mahogany, and eyes that sparkled with unquenchable curiosity. Her home was a small apartment shared with her grandmother, who worked double shifts at a diner, and her little brother, who dreamed of being an astronaut. Money was tight. Zara's clothes were hand-me-downs, patched at the knees, and her soccer ball was her most prized possession, scuffed from endless games in the park. She didn't know wealth like Elias's, but she knew joy in simple things. The thrill of a goal, the warmth of her grandma's hugs, the freedom of running barefoot under the sun. Zara was bold, unafraid to speak her mind, a stark contrast to the hushed tones of the mansion beyond the hedge. One crisp afternoon, Zara's soccer ball sailed too high during a pickup game, bouncing over the tall fence into the forbidden gardens of the estate. "Not again!" she groaned, but adventure called. Spotting a loose panel in the fence, hidden by overgrown ivy, she squeezed through without a second thought. The garden was a wonderland. Fountains bubbled like laughter, roses bloomed in perfect rows, and statues loomed like silent guardians. Zara crept forward, eyes scanning for her ball, when she spotted Theo by a koi pond, his wheelchair gleaming in the sunlight. He was alone, except for a distant servant pruning hedges. Theo noticed her first, his eyes widening at this intruder in faded jeans and sneakers. "Who are you?" he asked, voice soft but intrigued. No one ever just appeared like this. Zara straightened up, hands on hips. "I'm Zara, and I'm looking for my ball. It's red and white, kinda beat up. Seen it?" She didn't whisper or bow. She talked like they were old pals on the playground. Theo blinked, unused to such directness. People here tiptoed around him, treating him like fragile glass. No. But maybe it's by the bushes over there?" He pointed weakly, his heart racing at this break in routine. Zara nodded, then eyed his wheelchair. "Cool chair. Does it go fast?" Theo flushed. "Yeah, but I can't really, walk." Most kids would pity him or flee, but Zara just shrugged. "That's okay. My grandma uses a cane sometimes. Want me to push you? We can hunt for the ball together. Teamwork makes it fun." Before Theo could protest, she gripped the handles and wheeled him along the path, laughing as they bumped over pebbles. The servant spotted them and hurried over, phone in hand. "Young lady, this is private property. You can't—" But Theo interrupted, his voice firmer than ever. "She's my friend. We're looking for her ball." The word friend hung in the air, new and warm. Zara grinned, unfazed by the adult's glare. They didn't find the ball that day. It had rolled into a thicket, but they found conversation. Zara chattered about her school, where lunches were free but books were old. About street games and stray cats she fed scraps to. Theo listened, mesmerized. Her world was alive with chaos and color, so different from his sterile silence. As security escorted her out, Zara whispered, "I'll come back tomorrow. Sneak me in?" Theo nodded, a smile creeping onto his face for the first time in months. That night, Elias noticed the change in his son. Theo was animated, recounting the intruder with excitement. "Let her visit," Elias sighed to his staff, too exhausted from a day of mergers to argue. "If she makes him happy." Zara returned, slipping through the fence like a secret agent. Their meetings became routine. She'd push him around the garden, telling stories of her life, while Theo shared his holographic games. For the first time, Theo felt seen, not as a broken boy, but as Theo. Zara didn't pity. She challenged. "Bet I can beat you in a race. Your chair versus my legs." And though he couldn't run, her energy made him feel like he could fly. Little did they know, this friendship was the key to unlocking secrets buried deeper than any garden root. As days turned to weeks, Zara and Theo's bond deepened like roots in fertile soil. Mornings found Zara sneaking in before school, her backpack stuffed with library books and homemade cookies from her grandma. They'd sit under the grand oak tree, Theo in his wheelchair, Zara cross-legged on the grass, sharing tales. She read adventure stories in dramatic voices, making pirates roar and dragons breathe fire. Theo, in turn, showed her his tech gadgets, drones that buzzed like bees, VR headsets that whisked them to virtual worlds. "This is cooler than any playground!" Zara exclaimed, her laughter echoing through the once silent garden. Servants watched warily at first, but soon smiled. Theo's eyes lit up, his isolation cracking like old paint. Zara's straightforward nature clashed beautifully with the mansion's formality. When a butler offered her tea on fine china, she slurped it loudly, declaring, "Tastes like fancy water." Theo giggled, something rare. She taught him clapping games, their hands slapping in rhythm, and even convinced him to try wheeling tag, where she'd chase his chair down paths. "You're fast for a sitter," she'd tease. But amid the fun, Zara noticed oddities. Theo's therapy sessions left him drowsy, his eyes glazed. "Why do you look so wiped after those?" she asked one afternoon, munching an apple. Theo shrugged. "The doctors say it's normal. They hook up these pads to my legs, send signals or something." Zara frowned. Her grandma's doctor visits never left her like that. Subtle hints emerged. During a game, Theo winced, rubbing his thigh. What was that? Zara pressed. Just a tingle. Happens sometimes. She leaned closer, spotting a faint scar above his knee, hidden under pants. That looked new? Theo shook his head. From surgeries when I was a baby. But Zara's mind whirred. Her cousin had scars from falls, not like this precise mark. Dialogues revealed more. Do your legs ever feel weird? She asked. Like buzzing? Theo nodded hesitantly. Yeah, after therapy. But Dad says it's progress. Zara bit her lip. Buzzing didn't sound like progress. It sounded like trouble. One evening, as sunset painted the garden gold, Zara shared her own stories of hardship. My mom left when I was little, but Grandma says family's what you make. Theo opened up too. I wish I could run like you. Dad's trying everything, fancy machines, top doctors. But Zara sensed gaps. Why no improvement after years? She noticed the therapist's secretive whispers, how they glanced at Elias's office. Why don't they let you try walking aids more? She wondered aloud. Theo had no answer, but her questions planted seeds of doubt. Their friendship brought life to the estate. Elias peeked in sometimes, seeing Theo laugh, and felt a pang. Zara gave what money couldn't. But oddities piled up. Theo's occasional twitches, unexplained fatigue, a small bump under his skin Zara felt during a playful poke. Feels like a pebble, she said. Theo laughed it off, but Zara's instincts screamed. In quiet moments, she'd stare at the mansion's labs, where Elias funded neural tech. What's really going on? She whispered to herself. Theo felt it too. Subtle sensations, memories of babyhood procedures fuzzy in his mind. Their bond strengthened through these shares. But tension brewed. Zara's keen eye spotted what others ignored. Hints of a secret lurking in Theo's very body. Zara's suspicions grew like weeds in the garden, impossible to ignore. After playtime, she'd sneak home, mind racing with questions. Why does Theo's therapy make him sleepy instead of strong? She'd ponder, flipping through library books on medicine. Her grandma noticed her distraction. What's eaten you, child? Zara confided vaguely. Something's off with my friend. Alone in her room, she sketched notes. Scars, tingles, bumps. Flashbacks haunted her. Theo's birth story, told by a chatty servant. Complicated delivery. Immediate surgeries at Nextech's private clinic. Born paralyzed, they said. But Zara wondered if it was that simple. She began investigating solo, slipping back after dark. Peering through Theo's window, she saw a therapist with a remote-like device, pressing buttons as Theo's legs jerked unnaturally in sleep. Heart pounding, Zara hid in bushes, recording on her old phone. That's not therapy, that's control, she whispered. The next day, she quizzed Theo gently. Remember last night's session? He yawned. Nah, I zonked out fast. Inconsistencies mounted. Doctors' explanations shifted. Nerve damage one day, muscle atrophy the next. Zara overheard Elias arguing with a lab head. The implants are monitoring, right? Not suppressing? The word implants stuck like glue. Flashbacks deepened the mystery. Zara imagined Theo's infancy. Elias, grieving his wife. Desperate for a fix, signing off on experimental neural tech from his own company. For research, doctors might have said. But was it more? Zara dug online at the library, searching neural implants paralysis. Articles on ethics, experiments gone wrong. Her suspicion, Theo wasn't born paralyzed. Something induced it. Close calls heightened tension. She nearly got caught sneaking files from a servant's desk, heart racing as footsteps approached. Zara's determination grew. She confided in her cousin Jamal, a tech whiz. Help me research Nextech. They uncovered ties to controversial trials, suppressing nerves for control studies. Flashbacks to Theo's therapies. Pads not stimulating, but damping signals. Zara felt sick. Was Elias complicit or blind? Tension built. She avoided confronting Theo yet, fearing heartbreak. Instead, she observed more. Bumps hardening, tingles increasing post-visit. It's like his body's fighting something, she told Jamal. Nights brought doubt. Am I crazy? But evidence stacked. Inconsistent medical records glimpsed in Elias's office. Therapist's nervous glances. Zara's growing suspicion turned to resolve. She'd uncover the truth, no matter the risk. The mansion's shadows hid secrets, but Zara's light was piercing them, one question at a time. Zara's investigation intensified, leading to tangible evidence. One afternoon, under the oak, she asked Theo, "Can I check your legs?" Just curious. Trusting her, he rolled up his pants. Pale skin revealed tiny bumps above each knee, hard metallic under touch. "What's that?" Zara gasped, pressing gently. Theo's foot twitched faintly. Did you see? It moved! Theo stared, shocked. I didn't feel it. Emotions surged. Theo's confusion, Zara's determination. This ain't normal, she said. That night, Zara witnessed a therapy session from hiding. The doctor used a remote. Theo's legs spasmed puppet-like, screen showing neural suppression active. Horror gripped her. This wasn't healing. It was hindrance. Recording it, she fled, heart thumping. Next day, showing Theo the video, his face crumpled. Why? Zara hugged him. We'll figure it out. Clues mounted. Scars from birth surgeries matched implant sites. Theo recalled fuzzy memories, pokes, beeps. Zara's resolve hardened amid emotional turmoil. Theo's tears, her anger. Someone's keeping you like this, she said. The discovery heightened stakes. They whispered plans, bonds strengthening in secrecy. Section 6. Deepening the investigation. 700 words. Zara enlisted Jamal for deeper digs. Hack into Nextech info, she urged. They pored over public records, finding Elias-funded neural suppression tech for medical control. Connections emerged, doctors tied to unethical trials. Suspense built with close calls, security nearly spotting Zara snooping labs. Research revealed implants designed to dampen nerves, tested on kids unknowingly. Jamal zoomed on therapy videos. Suppression at 85%. They tailed a doctor to Nextech HQ, photographing documents. Tension peaked when Elias's guards patrolled. Zara hid, breath held. Flashbacks showed Elias signing consents blindly, trusting science. Zara's team grew. Grandma offered wisdom. Truth hurts, but heals. Discoveries piled, files on other children. Close calls amped drama. Jamal's computer glitched during a search, nearly alerting firewalls. Their investigation deepened, unveiling a web of deceit, pushing toward revelation. Piecing clues, Zara realized. Theo's paralysis was artificial, induced by implants for Nextech's research, funded by Elias unknowingly. Horror washed over her. Experiments on his own son? Theo's heartbreak was profound when told. Dad wouldn't. But evidence was irrefutable. Suppression signals, test subject files, confronting memories. Theo recalled procedures. Zara's empathy shone. You're not broken. They broke you. The revelation shattered illusions, exposing ethical horrors. Theo wept. Zara vowed justice. The truth, convenience for data, Elias deceived. Shock rippled, setting stage for confrontation. Zara stormed Elias's office with evidence. You're letting them paralyze Theo! Elias paled, denying it first. Arguments escalated. I thought they were helping. Revelations of complicity, partial through negligence. Threats flew. Leave or I'll call security. But videos proved suppression. Conflict peaked. Elias raged, then crumbled. I was blind. Attempts to silence, offers of money. But Zara refused. Dramatic standoffs with doctors, arrests looming. Emotional climax, Elias's regret, Zara's fury. Resolution edged closer amid turmoil. Plants removed in emergency surgery. Theo felt sensations flood back. Recovery started. Therapy, emotional reconciliation. Elias apologized, hugging Theo. Zara's role celebrated. She saved him. Healing montage. First toe wiggles, family bonds mending. Uplift amid challenges. Patience key.